Okay, so is traditional education really bad, and why nowadays we are kind of fantasizing, we are kind of glorifying that dropouts are greater than the degrees? And is this really the truth, or is just a big fuss? And why are we trying to create a conspiracy that traditional education is certainly kind of letting you into this rat race and kind of making you into this loop where you just work, 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 and you'll get nothing out of your life and you'll just be someone's slave? Is this really a thing of traditional media, if, of traditional education, of whatever we have been seeing, traditional filmmaking? Is everything suddenly just breaking apart? And why, in general, are we trying to oppose the traditional way? And why are these certain kind of things popping out suddenly, and why they're taking more importance? Today we are talking about education. And over years, we have been doing just one thing, is study. Whether it be through our kindergarten, then later when we went to school, middle school, high school, and now when we are in colleges, suddenly this new fuss starts around that degrees are nothing. Degrees prove nothing. You suddenly need that skill set. Okay. And it's really a good thing, to have a skill set. And really, degrees don't mean everything. But does it mean that degrees have literally no importance? Because at the end, nowadays, the companies who are recruiting really need those degrees. Even though you have skill sets, but if you don't have any, literal no degrees, then no one's going to take you, bro. Resumes still till date need those big degrees like masters, PhDs, and at least bachelors, right? Then why is this dropout culture getting so famous? And why are always these dropouts being so glorified over media? And by media, I'm talking your Instagram, your reels, whatever you're consuming day to day. Why are dropouts taking over? And why is degree getting zero importance? And why suddenly degree are worst? And why suddenly going to college is worst? Now, I have this one reason for this. And this is the thing that I am thinking. And I may be wrong. But suddenly, as we start to find that dropouts are getting more importance and degrees are worst, we also start to find a conspiracy. A conspiracy that literally says that there is this thing called as matrix. Okay, as soon as degrees are starting to get less importance, we also get a conspiracy that there is something called as matrix. Like in the movie, everyone has been controlled in some way or the other. Okay, and so suddenly this matrix stuff gets more importance, and what this matrix stuff eventually proves to you is that these degrees are sort of the part of matrix, and what matrix is trying to go through is trying to make you slaves, is trying to make you slaves. And now the biggest thing comes up. Okay, listen to me. Now, as this matrix stuff through degrees is making you slaves, so now you have to buy my course. Buy my course, okay, which is a monthly based program. Monthly, you will pay me some dollars, and then suddenly you'll defeat everything. You will be this dropout guy, and suddenly you will win the world. You'll be in the 1%, top 1%. And this things, this loop that just I caught you right now. First, everyone starts to prove you around the media, around your reels, around the everything that you're consuming today that degrees are bad. And suddenly we start to come up with these ratios, this big studies that suddenly degrees, the people who are actually having degrees are not getting jobs. And so the value of degree suddenly decreases. And then this beautiful line comes up. Okay, I heard it many times and I was really confused about this is how can a business professor teach you business when he has never done a business in his entire life? Guess what? There are so many employees working in a business. Okay, there are so many employees working in a business. They are not directly owning the business or they are not directly starting the business, but they are the main root of that business. An XYZ company can be nothing without its employees. Okay, even though you can be the best CEO, and these employees are not slaves, they have their own free will. Okay, they do it on their own way, right? And there are so many good entrepreneurs who are keeping their employees as their families. Okay, they are trying to build a relation, they are trying to build a trustworthy relation with everyone, and no one is keeping you as slaves. Guess what? But I have to sell you my course. How am I going to sell you my course? I have to create this entire circle, right? Where I'm starting to tell you that traditional things are wrong. The things that you have been doing for years is just a mess. And then to even kind of amplify your reasoning behind it, they try to go on your family and they try to show you a family situation. How does this occur? So, for example, my dad has worked his entire life in one company. Okay, he has given his entire life in one company. But guess what? My dad's boss has done everything that's required for him. Okay, where he stays, it's my boss, it's his boss's house. So they suddenly try to incorporate that look what your dad has done. He has worked his entire life for someone, made nothing out of his life, never gone to two different islands to enjoy his vacation. He has just stuck there. And if you want that Lamborghini, suddenly for past 2 years, you hear this new name in your head, which is Lamborghinis, Bugattis, this, that. Suddenly you try to go crazy for cars. Suddenly you try to go crazy for those big luxurious yachts. Suddenly you try to go crazy for those big private jets. And suddenly this college stuff is useless for you. And through all of these loops, they have kind of cleared it in your head that education is bad. Going to colleges is bad. And this is so funny that they are trying to compare education. They are trying to compare your traditional schools is equal to prison. And you know what's the theory behind it? Because there was this big billionaire or trillionaire back in the day in US who created this entire education system. I forgot his name, bro, but he was Rockefeller or something like that, right? He created this entire school structure, and the people are trying to conspirize that suddenly the school is equal to prison. You know how? Because you hear the bell when every period ends. Guess what? That's happening in prison, and so you're not at school, you're actually in prison. But look, here's the thing what school taught me, and I'm being brutally honest with you. My school was a village school, right? My school did not have that huge high tech things in it. My school was a very mediocre school, okay? And so when I was going in my school, I had this one thing very clear in my school is discipline is the must. And so, are you slave if you are staying under discipline? Are you slave if you are listening to your teacher peacefully? Are you a slave if you are trying to make fans peacefully without no ego? Right? And suddenly, this thing starts to get glorified. That this being different than the everyone, beating mediocrity. If you want something big in your life, you will have to stop this thing. Why? Just think about the basic stuff, bro. You go to kindergarten, your psychology develops in a kindergarten. Then you go to school, your mentality develops in a school. Right? You don't know how much these things have affected your life. And always, they might do 2 or 4 bad things in your life, but they will add hundreds of things new or better in your life. And why I have said it multiple times that I want to leave this college. And I'm being brutally honest, I want to drop out. Because this is not a course I correlate with. And that's where my best advice comes in is just this is only the first. But the thing that's really important for you, the thing that should be really the one in your head is try to get a course. I'm not telling you to buy it from a guy who's selling it, but I'm trying you to buy it or go and study actually. No buying stuff. It's studying, it's education, it's been poured down through generations. Okay, it's a valuable asset. Education has transformed many generations, it will. I'm not saying that all the course sellers are bad. Okay, I would sell a course in future, right? But I want to sell it something that I don't have to create this loop of trying to drive people into my course. Okay, that what do we call glorify the opposite. Glorify the opposite loop. We are trying to glorify the other side of the equation, and so you kind of automatically prove that your point is good because guess what? It's a big psychological mess. In short, the thing that is rare has to stay rare. Okay, and I'm not trying to go deep into it, but my point is you should have a course. You should go into a course, you should pursue a degree that really correlates with your heart. That really correlates, I don't want to write it right now, man. That really correlates with your heart. Okay? A course that really correlates with your heart, that really correlates with your passion. Okay? And the reason I want to leave college is because I always wanted to do something big in psychology. Even if I have a degree someday, I really want to get it in psychology. And the only psychology available in India is BA psychology. And BA is the basic downgrade psychology. I want to really get the BSc psychology. Right? And there's other way you can pursue psychology. After being a doctor, you can go further and master it in psychology. But guess what? I failed that exam multiple times. And I was passionate about psychology. I was never passionate about medical science. Not really that passionate. And as I developed thinking, I started to fall in love with this thing. 6 years ago, I fell in love with YouTube, and I'm burning my soul that I want to do it someday, and I'm doing it right now. But the thing is, if somewhere in this world, if there was a course on YouTube, like the actual traditional course where I get a degree, I would have done it. I really also wanted to go filmmaking because it's really close to YouTube. But guess what? My dad said no. And as I wanted to fulfill my parents' needs, I wanted to fulfill my parents' dreams. So I came into this college. But I also said it at that time that, if someday I do the thing that I want to do, and if someday it gets bigger, then I'll leave this college. And it's truly a good thing. It's not a bad thing to drop out always. But suddenly starting to glorify these dropout things and suddenly demeaning the degrees is really worst, bro. Suddenly starting to question the 30-year-old teaching professors and suddenly starting to glorify a guy who has just made his income in 1 year, right? I swear to God, education is such an asset that can change your life. And in general, colleges are worth so much. And I'm not even talking about going into that mediocre settings where you go partying with your friends. But in general, when you go into stuff, when you get involved in college stuff, like hosting an event, there are big colleges that host event that they call all the superstars, they call all the big singers, dancers in college. And if you go really in the back end stuff, that how to call them, how do they get the sponsors for the events, you can really learn something. And there are so many intelligent people coming in the colleges to give you the lectures for free. It's seminar, college is taking all on them. And so in general, you'll meet around people who can sometimes, if you are passionate about a course, in a class of 100, okay, even if you find two people who are really as passionate as you are about that topic, so guess what? You three would do the biggest shit in this world with that single course. Okay, so please, man, colleges are not bad, courses are not bad, getting a degree is not bad. But the thing bad is trying to fall into this glorifying the opposite loop, and the bad thing is getting into a course that's really not correlating with your passion and heart. Okay, it should be that every dollar you're given in this course, you should get double or triple or squared amount of worth back from it. Right? So if I create someday some course, your goal to buy my course should be only one thing, that am I getting, for example, I'm selling it an X amount, will you in future make X square amount, or will you in future make 2x, 3x and X amount from that course that you bought from me? Question that. Don't fall into these loops. You're trying to get onto this children's, bro, who are first time seeing a big dream, that Lamborghini. Guess what? Your mom never taught you that Lamborghini was a big thing. Who taught you? Reels? Who taught you that being in yacht is cool? Who taught you buying a mega yacht is cool? Yeah, having a good watch is cool? Who taught you that, bro? Just go to square equation 1 and you realize all of these things are trying to get you in a loop where they eventually create a funnel. If you go deep down, you'll understand how deep these things are. These are all just a funnel, okay? So first, let me just show you it very quickly. I don't want to get big in this video, but I need to clear that concept in your head, right? This is where how a funnel looks. And every business have their own funnel. This is usually a sales funnel, a lead generation funnel. Every business is a funnel, right? So here the funnel is, first they try to capture the young minds. The young minds. How will they capture the young mind? They'll try to get you in that opposite glorifying loop. You'll suddenly start glorifying the opposite side, the rare side, and you'll question your own reality. And at that point, they'll start try to say you this thing. You know what? If you want to be different, if you want to be in that 1%, if you are trying to get out of this loop that they got you into, if you are trying to stop kind of questioning yourself, if you want to get into that 1%, you have to buy my course. And then once you buy my course, which was suppose XX amount, then now if you really want to talk to me and that improve these things, because this is really 1%, right? If you want to get into 0.1%, if you want to be the really big guy in the world, okay, if you really want to talk to me and build new connections, networking, this, that stuff, big business terms, okay, they'll say all the big business terms, and then they'll make X multiple amounts of dollars for you. And in the end, you will come out zero as the starting, and now you're not a young mind, you are a degenerate mind. All the spark that you had in your head, all the spark that you had from yourself is now gone, is now sucked through your soul with this entire funnel. And now at the end of the funnel, there will be two things. As you have grown through all of these things, you will actually be successful, but not as much as this young mind could have been by actually following its passion and following its mentors and going to college, meeting 2 or 3 the same minded people, and really doing it the original way without having this very big expectations that he did not create it. They were sent to him. You never wanted a Lamborghini. There was this scarcity that Lamborghini is the 1% thing and everyone wants to be in the top. Everyone's psychology needs to be that superior guy. And so you wanted to be the superior guy, so they sold you that Lamborghini is only for 1%, and if you want to be in that 1%, you'll have to buy my course. And then once you buy a course, they'll upsell you. They'll upsell you to buy the other course that's really one-on-one talk, this will do that, this will do this, this did improve you so much. If you really want to be in the top 0.1% to shift the tables, to shift the markets, you'll have to buy this next course. They'll upsell you. And that's how the funnels work, bro. This is literally how funnels work. You'll get in the clients, you'll nurture them, you'll kind of create them, and then you'll kind of get the outcome you want from them. This is how actually it works. So yeah, I'm saying it one line. I'm saying it as in conclusion that yeah, traditional education is really good until and unless you find a course that's relating with your heart. Okay, not due to someone's pressure, like how I took the course because of my parents' pressure, or how I took this course because that was the last thing I could have done and I don't want to waste my life just spending another year in shithole. So I took this course, okay? But get a course that really correlates with your heart, okay? Get a course that really you are passionate about, okay? That you are really passionate about. And then a course that you really love to indulge in, a subject in this world that you are really interested in, a subject that you actually want to possess the knowledge in, the subject that you actually want to be keen in, okay, you really want to be the top in that subject. There has to be something you love, bro. You have to actually find it instead of giving someone else the weight to kind of find you that thing. Because then once you give someone else the liberty to find the goals for you or find the interest or love for you, what you're passionate about, when you give it to someone else, they will take the advantage of that liberty, and then we know what happens, right? You are a young man, right? You are still in your college or you are doing some degree, and look, we really need to be sensible. There's a YouTuber called as Ali Abdal, if you know him. He really left his entire degree, he was pursuing a job, he really left it when his business was 10x the amount he was making from that doctor's degree. And he was really passionate about that stuff. So please, don't just, when you make some amount of money, you are leaving the college. Me too. I'll only leave college if I know I have done enough thing in my life and I know this will compound in future. That's the point where I leave college. Other than that, it's really a good backup option in this world full of miseries, right? Having a degree is never going to do something really bad to you. And those 3 or 4 years you give in your college, no one's going to suck your soul. The only thing that happened to me, okay, within this college is I was surrounded by idiots. What that did to me was I was trying to get that superior rating feeling from long time, and these idiots made me feel superior. Okay, I'm not trying to be toxic, guys, but please, you have to understand this. This course only did one or two new things. Is that it gave me some knowledge that I never had about this world. It taught me some of the medicines that I never even thought existed. Okay, it taught me some of the disease, some of the symptoms, how disease works, what's your anatomy, what's your physiology. I'm a medical student, right? But I'm in a course which is homeopathy, if you know, it's a German medicine. So I'm trying to be in that course. I never really loved that course. I never really found it interesting. But guess what? I'm learning two more new things, right? Every day. And I know it's really hard, is in this day where it's not just really about your passion and your love. Because if you don't get scholarships, if you don't have that enough amount of money, you'll have to pay student loans. And this is also a thing that they take a very big advantage from you. Because student loans, they'll show you, oh, you are paying this much amount of money as in student loan, then why not pay me this much a month? Okay, and you can be in the top 1%. And these, after even paying this much, you'll be in that mediocrity. Right? If you really want to be in that 1%, you just give me 50. I'm not asking this much, I'm just asking this much. Okay, that's where they feed onto you. But bro, the big thing you need to understand is education has always been the biggest asset. And I swear to God, you learn 10 new things in this one rather than this one. And this will kind of destroy your life someday. Because you have never learned anything. He was just trying to upsell you. He was just trying to nurture you. He nurtured you. He tried to suck the soul out of you. He sucked the soul out of you, and then you are left. You are a dust particle for him now. You are just a degenerate piece of loser now for him. Okay, you are doing nothing to him now. You are no valuable asset for him. But guess what? Even if you don't find something in this college, you'll find 10 new people. You'll find those 30-year-old professors who have been doing this shit for years and years, and they have really mastered it. You learn two or more new things, and I swear to God, if you are in the thing that you love, if I would have been in something called as psychology, I would have been the most absolutely happy guy in the world in this college. Because in this college, there are professors whom I can talk different psychology stuff, right? I can talk to them, I can speak to them, I can take their knowledge with me. I swear to God, there are so many things that can be leveraged in this game. There can be money, there can be land, there can be real estate. But the biggest leverage you can ever have in your life is education. Because this shit never leaves your life. Money can leave your life, land can leave your life, but the things that you have learned truly by working hard are never leaving you. That's it. I would love to conclude it this way. I know I went a bit aggressive. It's actually the board's aura which is making me do this all stuff. But yeah, that's it. I really hope you learned two new things from this one. And Jai Jinendra. Stay safe, brother. Don't trouble your mother.